Hey, what's up, y'all? Oh wait, I already started that off wrong. I'm looking off to the side and looking at the camera. Okay.
Bookdjshereal.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Bookdjshereal, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yes, it's finally here. I know it's been a long time coming. Like, if y'all know me, you know how long I've been talking about doing YouTube. Like, too long, procrastinating, a little scared, a little being too much of a perfectionist. Like, I've recorded some videos in the past, and I was like, I ain't good enough, deleting stuff. But you know what? It's 2020. There's too much stuff going on, and I'm like, man, if you don't get your shit together and just put this stuff out, so I'm putting it out. So today I'm doing my first video, and it's on a highly requested topic, which is how did I become a DJ, how did I learn. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like a short story time on my journey on how I became a DJ, how I learned, and also give you little tips and tricks in the middle to those who are aspiring to become DJs, some things you can take notes on, and just some little steps to help you out in the process. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and keep on watching. All right. So how I became a DJ. So I'm gonna take y'all all the way back to 2014. I was up at my university, and I was a part of a female production / event throwing team called Royal Productions. So shout out my Royal Production girls. If y'all watching this, we still really good friends now. It was basically like some boss girls who liked the entertainment industry. We threw events, we promoted events, we promoted artists, we promoted artist showcases, we promoted DJs, like anything within the music industry / entertainment industry that needed promotions or a push or anything. That's basically what we did. Just being in that environment and surrounded by these creatives and these artists, it kind of sparked my inner creative and artistry that I've always had. Even from a young child, like I've always been into music. Like back when we had CDs and CD racks, like that was all I wanted for Christmas, birthdays, anything where someone could give me a gift, get me a CD. That's all I wanted. I had CD racks with hundreds of albums, but that was my love. And even through middle school, you know, everyone has their little hustle, selling candy, making mixtapes. So I had my little side hustle of making CDs, and I would actually like design covers and write out the track list. Then from there, I joined our high school dance team, drill team, and I was making our competition music for that. Then in college, I joined a separate dance team, making music for that, and I was using the software like Odyssey, Virtual DJ. I was using all these softwares that I didn't even realize was like DJ stuff. I just knew I needed programs so I could make competition music, and I didn't even realize I was DJing back then. But yeah, I always loved music. So when I started hanging around these creatives and I was watching them, you know, do their arts and crafts, it like sparked something in me, and I was like, dang, that's dope. And I got really passionate about it. And one of the DJs that we were helping promote at the time was Cal Banks. So I know a lot of y'all know Cal Banks, famous DJ, famous producer now. That was one of our first DJs we were promoting. And I remember one day he had his equipment set up, and I was just drawn to it. And I just asked him, I was like, hey, can you turn your tables on? I just want to play on it, blah, blah, blah. So he turned the stuff on for me, and I'm just playing on them. Like, you know, when people come to tables and you're just like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was really intrigued by it. So I played with it for a little bit, left, went home, and it was like that night I was laying in my bed, I just started getting downloads like crazy. Like, oh, you could be a DJ, oh, you should do that, oh, you need that, you can get your stuff, you know. Things just seemed second nature. Like it came to me really easy and really quick. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. There were some female DJs during that time. I know even in Dallas we had DJ Duffy. So it was like, okay, there are female DJs in the game, you know, so it's not like some far-fetched idea. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I brought it to him, and I was like, hey, I want to be a DJ, blah, 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 blah. And of course, and there was some more homies over there too, and of course, first thing I'm gonna get is a little bit of pushback, because I'm telling creatives who've been doing this stuff for years that all of a sudden I want to be a DJ. And so of course they're gonna be like, for what? And why you want to be a DJ? And of course, females, we have this stigma of like, we just want to do things for clout and exposure and popularity and beauty, and that it's not really, that we don't really care about the craft, which is not true, but it is a stigma. And so, you know, I'm getting kind of interrogated, like, why do you just want to look good, get popular and all this stuff? And I'm like, no, because honestly, I never really cared about that kind of stuff. I was like, I love music, and it really just sparked something in me, and I want to be a DJ. So the pushback was actually a lot of motivation, because I was just like, you know what, I'm done talking, I'm not answering no more questions, I'm just gonna show y'all like this is something I can do. So after that, I was on my mission. I was like, okay, I gotta be a DJ. What do I, the first thing I need, equipment. I was like, okay, I need some tables. So I went on Google, because one thing about me, I'm Aquarius, so I am a little stubborn. If you tell me I can't do something, oh, I'm gonna go super hard, and I'm not even gonna ask for help. So I'm on Google, and I'm just searching top DJ equipment, best DJ equipment, and I'm seeing all these different brands and new marks and pioneers and all this stuff. And at the time, y'all, I'm in college, I'm working a part-time job. I did not have no money for no like extravagant equipment. So I'm trying to find the best equipment on a budget. And at the time, I ran across a brand called Pioneer. So Pioneer DJ, or not even just DJ, but Pioneer in general is just a good brand to start off with equipment. So I was online, I found this board called the Pioneer DDJ-SB. They still make them today, but of course they're well advanced. There's like number 2, number 3. I had the very first one. It was like marketed at like $250 plus tax. And I'm looking at my bank account, I only had like $240 tops. So I'm already kind of like, dang, like I want to be a DJ, but I ain't got no money, I don't know how I'm gonna start. And you know, I was talking to one of my homies, shout out Big Fred, and I was just like, man, I really want to become a DJ, I want to buy some equipment, but I ain't got no money. So he's like, well, how much is it? And I'm like, $250, and I was like, I only got like $240 something on my bank account. So he was like, all right, well, if this is something you're really serious about and you're gonna take it serious, I'll pay whatever you can't get. So I was like, bet. So we went up there, I got my board, he paid the taxes on it. I forever owe you, homie. But yeah, I got my board. I had $0 in my bank account at this time, but I had my board, so I didn't care. And that's how you know you got a passion and a drive, when literally you'll go broke just to start something. And that's one thing I would like to tell people. Like, if it's something you have a passion for, something you want to do, even if you don't, okay, don't take my advice on going broke. Like, that's not for everybody. I still had a job, so I knew I was gonna get another paycheck eventually, but yeah. Just be smart on your investment, but basically just start. Like, you don't have to have everything at once to start. Just start, buy things a little at a time. So for me, first thing was the board. I had a school laptop, an Asus computer. Really slow, really rinky-dink, but that's what I had, so that's what I used. So anyways, got home, hooked all my stuff up, literally sitting there reading the manual. That's another way of how I learn, y'all. Read the manual. You'll get a better understanding, and you'll just learn quicker, because it literally points out like, this button does this button does this. So I read the manual on how to hook it up. I went through all the steps on what all the buttons on the board do. Even with the program that it came with, Serato, they have like a help icon. You can click it and scroll over everything, and it'll tell you what everything does. So I read everything, and then after that, I just practiced. Practice. Literally, sometimes didn't even know what I was practicing on, what I was doing, but literally just pressing buttons until I figured it out. Now, if I ever got to a place where I just really couldn't figure out something, Then I would call one of the DJ friend and ask them, yo, I'm trying to do this. I really can't figure it out. Can you let me know and help me? So basically everything I learned was self-taught. So from here, I'm kind of just gonna give my new beginner DJs some tips on how to establish yourself after you buy your equipment and you get your stuff set up and you start practicing. Number one is practice and get better at your skill. I would practice literally probably like 6 hours a day. Like I was in it to like I wanted to be able to like do a show as soon as possible, and I knew in order to do that I had to practice a lot. So I was practicing probably about 6 hours a day. On top of practicing, I would recommend listening to other DJs. Go out to parties, go out to clubs, sit in there and just listen to whatever DJ's spinning. Just kind of listen to see how they mix, how they blend. Really try to do your research and find a DJ that you really connect with, that you really like. At the time, mine was Steve Nice. His song selections, it was real similar to like how I would pick a song and what song I would pick next to it. So I would listen to him on the radio. I try to catch all his mixes and really just hear the blends, hear the transitions, and then just go home and I would literally just duplicate it, see if I could duplicate it. Because I knew if I could duplicate a mix and it sounds almost identical to somebody that I think is dope, then that means I could be dope, or I'm sounding dope, you know what I mean? That's how I did. I listened to the DJs, I listened to mixes, and then even when I started to kind of teach myself how to scratch, I did that by listening to DJ Jazzy Jeff on YouTube. So I would literally pick a scratch routine he has on YouTube and I would just listen to it repeatedly over and over and over again. Like even if I'm driving to the store, if I'm driving to class, like that was on my ox. I'm listening to scratches everywhere I went, to where I memorized them. I would go home and I would duplicate the scratches until it sounded identical. So step one, practice, listen to others, boom. Step two, pick your DJ name and make sure your DJ name represents you and a whole out, brand that you want to put out there. So mine, Bookdjshereal, is a byproduct of my real name, Sherelle. And everybody at school was already calling me She-Real. So when it came to me picking a DJ name, it was kind of easy, even though I did, write down some other names. I was like DJ Spark, DJ Whoa, like I was trying to find other names to see, and none of them just stuck to me like She-Real did. And like I said, I was already known as She-Real, so boom, get your DJ name. Third thing I would recommend is get your DJ drops. So your DJ drops is basically like your branding stamp that's gonna play over the music as you perform. Your drops basically just tells everybody who's in the building and who's spinning. So you gotta make sure you get your drops. I would recommend investing and getting professional drops. You can record your own or have your homies record it, but just make sure the recording is really good quality. So that was number 3. So number 4, start branding and marketing. So one thing I did was I made a website. I didn't have much to put on there, but I was like, you know what, eventually I will. Made a website, got some business cards, started making flyers, just anything within branding and marketing that if I go out and I start to network, I have something to give to people. So definitely look into that. Like if you don't want to start out with a website at first, at least get your business cards. Just something to brand out and market whenever you do start to go out and network. Which brings me to number 5, networking. So networking is super important as far as establishing yourself as a DJ. So I'd recommend anytime you go to parties, clubs, just events, corporate events, it doesn't matter. Introduce yourself, talk to the DJs, talk to the door people, talk to the promoters, talk to the bartenders, talk to the security, which I know is not everyone is good at networking. Me, I'm an extreme introvert, but I can become an extrovert, but normally like I'm an introvert and I'm not the person to walk in a room and just start talking to everybody. But like I said, I had this drive and I was like, you know what? No one's gonna know me if I don't put myself out there. So I was going places, I was networking, I had my business cards. I invested in some really cool looking business cards. They were like see-through and they had my logo on it and they had a USB attached to it. So on that USB, like I put like all my contact information and some pictures and some mixes I had recorded just to kind of stand out. One thing you'll hear me say a lot in my tips is invest. Invest in yourself, invest in your product and your quality. To me, it's like if you're not gonna invest and something of good quality or the best quality, don't even waste your money. Like, just save your money. Don't even spend your money. Because when your stuff is of quality, when you come out, it just hits harder. It has a better statement on people. So yeah, I was out, I was networking. One tip I will give you when it comes to networking and trying to get in the door is to focus on building relationships before selling yourself. A lot of times people will go out and automatically network and think, oh, I gotta sell myself. I'm a DJ, blah, 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 blah. And these people don't know you from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? So you coming out there and just trying to say, I'm da da da, I like it if you book me. They're probably gonna look at you like, I don't know you, don't nobody around know you. It don't really work like that. So just focus on getting to know people, building relationships, building friendships. And then as you continue to build your craft, you can start presenting it to them and letting them know. And at this point, you have a friendship established. So they'll be more open to listening to what you got, listening to your mixes, and potentially giving you a shot. So there is my tip number 5. Tip number 6, put yourself out there as far as the mixes. So Serato, you can record yourself. I would suggest go ahead and once you get the hang of DJing and mixing, go ahead and start recording you some mixes. Make you some mixes, send them to your close friends, have them vet it for you. Just, you know, tell them, be honest, how do you think it sounds? And if they like it, cool. Put the mix out, put it on SoundCloud, start making mixtapes. Well, I don't even know if people still listen to mixtapes. When I came out, people were still jamming CDs and stuff. People stream everything now, but at the time, I was making mixtapes, and I would also collab with other DJs and make mixtapes, but I would make mixtapes. I would go to a local print shop, get them printed out, and then literally just be on campus handing out my mixtape, tagging cards, going to parties, passing out my mixtape. I was out there, but I was real serious about it. And so one thing, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, just focus on the craft and get good, but I really believe in branding and marketing as well as practicing and getting good. Putting those two together simultaneously makes a huge difference. So like I said, I was real big on practice and I was real big on branding. So by the time I got my first gig, y'all, I have my logo already up on my laptop. I have my professional drops. You know, if people want to see me, I have mixtapes ready. After the party, if they want to know who I am, I have my mixtapes ready. I have my cards ready. I have my website already built. So when people go and look me up, even if they never heard of me before, they're going to be like, damn, she probably been doing her thing because she got all her shit together. So it makes it just even more, what's the word? It makes people more willing, that's the word. It makes people more willing to work with you, and they see that, dang, they got all this stuff together. They must be dope. They must be good. You know, you've always heard the term fake it till you make it, or just make things larger than life. I always projected myself bigger than even what I was at the moment. You know what I mean? So even with little gigs I had videographers. I was like, yo, when you edit this, make this look bigger than life. There's probably only 10 people in the room, but you wouldn't know, you know what I mean? So it's all about branding, marketing, and establishing your skill set. But anyways, that is the end of my story time. I hope this gave y'all some insight on my journey, on how I became a DJ, how I learned, and I hope that some of my tips and tricks could help some other female DJs out there, or any DJ out there who is trying to figure out how to become one and how to start. I hope my tips and tricks helped you. And if you like this video, again, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm gonna get some more content out for you guys. And I'll see y'all in the next vid. All right, peace.